something to shake the pattern up, shake me out of that to make me realize there's nothing other than you here. You know, so like these entrapments and the limitation and the blockages is, you know, where it's coming from to as you're undoing it's like taking traps off of you that you didn't know were there, and you got respect for it because you're like, dang, like these are really elaborate. Yeah. Like this is so elaborate. Yeah. It's elaborate. It's genius. Yeah, it really is. It's because it's like the mystical myth of the Minotaur being in this maze in my head.
I guess that's
trying to get out.
I guess that's the only way you could challenge yourself though, like with a maze like that, at some level.
And I would not want someone to take me out. If I was in and I forgot I was in the maze and I was like distraught, like trying to get through it. If something came on, they're like, and then they took me out of the maze. They're like, no, let me finish it. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna make another one.
Yeah, man. Like, I feel like that's what getting a C-section is. Like,
I was cesarean.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm like because babies are even trying to figure it out. They're literally, you can see them like move, like they're moving through like some matrix on their way out, and if you don't make it in time, you gotta get cut out. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
it's like
I got evicted.
Yeah, man. You just get pulled out of there, and it's you know, personally, it's like I don't see it. I don't know if it's me dramatizing, like putting this memory there, but I feel like I really didn't want to. Like I was like, oh man, I got a lot of shit I got to do.
And you just got anxious.
Well, my mom was anxious.
Yeah,
she was anxious.
I heard it creates attachment issues. I'm detached. You know what I mean? I'm attached to detachment, so maybe that was, I don't know, maybe that added to it. So you think your mom was anxious about you coming, and you was anxious about you coming?
I was hyped. I was like, all right, I'm gonna come.
You wanted to come?
I'm gonna come. I'm doing this. Yeah. Like I'm ready, and I was in there just with my like becoming my mom's stressed out, you know, hard ass working, like really stressed out nervous system. Yeah, made me doubt myself in the womb. Yeah, like I understand. Yeah. Like oh shit, I'm like oh no shit. Yeah, and then oh no, let me stay. But I feel like even then I was trying to get born on a specific date too. So
yeah, I think they was trying to fight it, man. I feel like they was. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I was trying to not come out. Because that's what my mom always tells me, like, you didn't want to come out. But maybe it was just the doctor trying to force shit because he went to a golf tournament the next morning or something.
They get paid, I think, too.
Yeah, probably more, right?
Yeah.
For cesarean.
Yeah, when it's that.
Yeah. Nah, man. It really does, like, mess with the information and the relationship. You know what I mean? I feel like I definitely got, like, you know, some abandonment issues that, like, just was just, like, deeply embedded in an unconscious way. Like, still, I'd be, like, navigating through that. From that birth trauma. That birth trauma really is like the first cycle, and then like it kind of just keeps happening. You know what I mean? You keep getting approached with these toxic events, I guess, or toxic emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's the subconscious mirroring back.
Yeah.
Where your parent left off.
Yeah. And you just passed you the torch, like, and just threw it away. Like, go get it. Like that type of shit, kind of like. You was like, I gotta get off the track to get the. But yeah, like I think it's just crazy, man. You know, and I guess we could parlay that into what we were saying earlier about relationships with the people that you came through. You know what I mean? Like how, you know what I mean? I've really, like, I feel like I made a stance in my life where, yeah, if a female really, she doesn't have to have a great relationship with them, but if she has any disdain or hate towards either one of her parents, like, I don't want to.
Red flag.
Yeah. I don't want to be involved. Like, it's just like, it's just too close of a connection. Like, for you to hate like that. Because then it's just like you're living in that. You're just not communicating with yourself some way. You don't have to love these motherfuckers or whatever, or adore them. But to hate them, or, you know what I mean, to be out, to tell strangers that you don't like them. Because, you know, I meet girls, and they're like, I don't like my mom, I can't stand my mom. I'm like, you don't even know me. You know, you telling me you don't like your mom. You know, shit like that. Like, and I just feel like it's over. At this point, I can't do it. I really don't want to do it. You know, I'd rather, you know, ideally, you know, I'd rather meet somebody doing what I love anyway, you know what I mean, organically, randomly, and it should just happen. And I think in that setting, they'd be doing what they love. And, you know, I feel like if you can appreciate things in life, you gonna, like, tie it back to, like, damn, I'm glad somebody gave me life. Why should I hate these people?
Yeah, why not just live in truth and honor your family?
Yeah. Yeah, like in the Bible, right, it says, like, honor thy mother and thy father, thy days will be long upon the land. And I think it's true, man, in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? Like, just, you don't have to fucking kiss their feet, but, you know, just honoring, I guess, you know, the reality of things, you know what I mean? Like, people are not superheroes or whatever, people are people, and you know what I mean? And we'd be looking at our parents like superheroes, you know? I think I got caught up in that, like, because my mom was so great to me, that I start looking at them like superheroes, and they people going through their processes, raising themselves, raising me, and it's like we're one. So it's kind of like to add hate into that is just no point. And then to get involved with someone that is like actively like they can conceptually say that they don't like their mom, and they've decided that, or their dad. I just feel like it's like.
Well, I see them playing themselves, like saying that, because it's like it really is just 101, just personal development. If you want to let go of something, it's like if you resist it, it persists. Like whatever you resist persists. Like the more you're like, I hate this person, you're creating a stronger bond of it, and you're gonna become her, or him, or if you hate, or those people. If it's like I really hate my mom, and it's more of like resisting. I'm not gonna be them. Or it's like I'm not gonna get in this situation. It's like the more you say no, the more you're like telling the universe, like you're giving so much more energy to that, to where it's like it's inevitable that you're gonna play into a dynamic that is almost exactly like the one that you're going to escape, and you can't move past that. It's like levels of life. Like you're literally not able to get to the next level until you move through that.
Yeah.
And it's a real chemical thing. Like even looking at the person and like their heroes. There's chemicals in the body that now are forming emotional addictions to the presence of these people in the family nucleus.
Yeah, you're trying to lean on their energy.
And you lean on it, but then you hate them, and then you know what they do? They detach from it. They sever themselves from that, but now they still have these emotional addictions, and so they're just gonna link up with someone who has complementary addiction. That's just what's gonna happen, and every single time.
I feel like it's just like people, really like I don't feel like anyone is undisciplined or anyone is disloyal. I just feel like their loyalty is just like misplaced. People be loyal as fuck to their persona, and then all the people that support their persona, and they're
addicted to it, and as loyal as they are. Yeah.
They're being loyal to the persona is being like disloyal to yourself or to life itself. So like, in that you're gonna just attract other people that are disloyal to themselves, disloyal to you, and then like it just creates this whole issue. Like I feel like, because people, I really feel like that. People are really like dedicated and loyal as fuck to a persona and all that comes with it and all the benefits that might come from that persona. And so they're loyal. They have loyalty. They're capable. It's just that it's placed in that way, to where if whatever doesn't line up with the persona, reality doesn't line up with a persona. Honestly, persona is not reality. So it's like whatever doesn't line up, and when reality doesn't line up with the persona and obstructs it or whatever, then people be really disloyal to life and just constantly just being loyal to the persona. Yeah. It's just like...
And life's eroding the persona.
Yeah.
And as it's getting eroded, the persona's like taking on other things to like build it up, and like while it's getting eroded.
Yeah. And like trying to attract other people to like, just hold the space.
Against the natural flow of life.
Yeah.
And that's why we die.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we align it with the actual flow, it's like life's not gonna conspire to erode you to sediment.
It wants to live through you.
To cosmic sediment. I really do. It just people beat to sediment, smaller bits, smaller until they pass through to the other side.
Kingdom,
yeah.
And then you just
And then you start and you come in. It's just like. Yeah.
I feel like just. That's the thing. I feel like people's alignment, they just align with the persona, and it's just like, and then whatever comes with the persona, it's just like a whole nother like
stimulus.
Yeah,
it's a lot of stimulation
because it can't last
to keep it up. Yeah,
it can't last.
So like reinforcement, other people, substances, movies, music, preferences, likes and dislikes.
Yeah,
it's just all of the energy that keeps up the persona the whole time, and it's just effort.
Yeah, and I just feel like, when you get past the persona, then you're getting more into the core, and then in that sense, like, like there's no point in hating the people, whoever you came from, whoever you came through, or wherever you're at, because it's just like, I don't know, when that core is, it's preserved through everything, it's that persona that just be taking the brunt of of reality, I guess in a lot of ways.
That's what takes the hits, that's who suffers.
Yeah, and then so
that's who feels great. Like,
so the more you identify with it, the more that you're gonna suffer and stuff.
Or the more is there joy too on the other side?
I mean, I guess at some level, it's relative joy, because the persona is, it got its fleeting satisfactions.
So,
everything with it is fleeting.
Yeah, so it's fleeting suffering or fleeting satisfaction.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's all still temporary, but it wants to grasp.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but it can't, but as much as it can create rationalizations and like, and do everything it can to live in some sense of thinking it has something.
And try to outsource the power like some way to because like taking responsibility is taking like that God position. So like the persona is never going to do that. The persona is always going to continually outsource the power so that it can exist, so that there's some againstness. Like, you know, if there's like, oh, everything's on me, I am everything, then the persona dissipates. But the persona is just looking for that againstness. Like, I know I need to blame. I need to blame.
I need pain.
Yeah.
I need pain. I need like.
Or I can't exist. I won't exist. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy.
Or it needs pleasure.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I need pain and pleasure, and it's whatever Kensho, Satori, you know, like. Which side?
Yeah, and I guess it's like pleasure in some degrees of consciousness is pain to the other parts of your consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, and as far as the body's concerned.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I definitely experienced that. You know what I mean? Like, where I know, like, this is really feeding and nurturing an area and starving another area. Like, you know what I mean? And if it's holistic, it wouldn't do that. Everything would be nurtured. Mm-hmm. You know? And I just feel like, like, that's the thing, that the issue with the parents, you know what I mean? Like, and just, I don't know, a lot of people, I feel like it's just the structure of society to make it really easy to self-hate, hate your parents, and everything like that. And it's just like, I don't know, you're not going to get anywhere doing that. I don't know, you're never going to feel good. Even if you had $1 million, if you hate your parents, it's like, you're like really poor in another way.
Well, in every relationship you go to, until you resolve the relationship, it's going to be dysfunctional.
Yeah.
It's going to be as dysfunctional as the relationship with the parent.
Yeah.
So as dysfunctional as that relationship, as dysfunctional as all other relationships are going to be.
Yeah, and I just feel like the more that you dissolve that separation and you can kind of see the oneness between you, then like, you know, then you can like you know, it took me a long time to stop resenting my family, you know, and it got to a point where like, I guess, you know, I couldn't see separation, and I could see like why things are the way they are. I had the clarity to see that, and I was just like, man, like, you know, we're one. So like, you know, I need to be my hero. You're my hero, and I feel like there's no shame in it that way. You know what I mean? It's not like when you're, you know, 5 and your mom, you know, helps you with something and, you know, she's the hero. It's a little different. I feel like it's more like, you know, I need to be the hero for both of us and, you know, and keep us both, you know, going because we're one. You know what I mean? I really don't feel separation anymore. And like, I feel like in that you can always heal the situation from the inside out, even if you're a foster kid, because there's no separation. Mm-hmm. You know, I really feel like you are your parents. Not like in a way that it like defines you ultimately, but like it's no separation. So it's like, well, if I fix this in me, the way I look at this, then it ultimately fixes something. You know what I mean?
Inside out.
Yeah, and I don't know, just like red flags with females. That's the first one. That's one of the early ones. I mean, they gotta be at least some, you know, level of like appreciation for just being brought, just given a body, and then any chicks that ignore my red flags, I'll be like, oh, it's a red flag. But other than that, you know.
And you know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just seeing the seeds. You see what it'll grow to. It's cool. Like, oh, that season's gonna go into that season that might go into this.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like being able to, you know, either, you know, steer clear or you know, selectively take the selective approach. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I definitely would like to just get back to doing, you know, get forward to doing the things that I just enjoy doing, and then whatever comes with that, I'll take it, you know, and everything else is just everything else, right? I mean, if I enjoy it, whatever it comes with it, I'll enjoy. I feel like, you know what I mean, or I'll learn how to teach. So I feel like as long as that's the place I'm living from is like, yeah, the sincerity of like enjoying the process of things, what I'm trying to bring into the world and express, I don't see how you wouldn't connect in some way, whatever you need, whoever you need to connect with to learn or teach whatever you need to learn or teach.
Yeah, being aligned, and you know, it's all fleeting. So You know, so the process really is where that's the only place you can really live like a fulfilling life, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like a truly fulfilling one.
Yeah, and I feel like you meet people at a certain point, and then you're going to have like it's ultimately like kind of separating to connect again. So it's constantly like that, like, you know, whether you disconnect at the end in death or whatever, or like you meet each other and then, you know, you bond and then you get distant and then you both evolve, so then you can interface again, and because the evolution matched, and then it's going to be, I feel like, constantly like that, you know, like sine waves or whatever.
Yeah, like a helix, like a DNA helix of memories that we're moving through in a collective like blockchain of experience.
You're just embodying all these memories in our DNA.
And it's moving like waves of energy, like in orbits. I see planets orbiting. You know, like if it was like a planet here, and like there's just some, like we got a daily orbit. So you know, we'll have like every day, but sometimes you'll have like a yearly orbit. You'll see this person like once a year, and they'll come around. But it's like when that planet comes, and then there's like kind of that flip. There's a whole switch in the genome, basically, of just like the information of what's going on. Like all the energy was moving that direction, then you come relative to another planet, and there's just this flip, and then now there's a different transference of information. Yeah, we're all like coming back together. We're gonna like coming apart and coming together like at these points, but the relationships and the connections like that, and seeing the DNA as a story, like it's just read in stories and codes. Like we're really like evolving each other through these relationships.
Yeah, and then it's like the blood is really like the grapevine, I guess, you know. It's like basically like liquid breath or liquid soul or whatever, liquid consciousness. But like the heart, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the thing with the blood cells. Like all the blood cells kind of, you know, they always go to their points or whatever, and then they get pumped back to the heart at central location. And I feel like it's just like a kind of an expression, you know, all the different cells, blood cells. It's kind of like you were saying, people, you know what I mean? And I guess in different times, you know, the circadian rhythm that your body's in, and your cranial sacral rhythm, and then the overall rhythm of life, you know, like you said, like, you know, you're going to get certain cycles where certain blood interfaces, maybe that, you know, it's not always interfacing that way. Like the rhythm has a different hitch in it at some point, and it's like when Uranus switches or something, because that takes like 7 years, right? Like, when the bigger planets, I know they take a little longer. But
switch?
What?
A switch?
I think Uranus takes 7 years in a sign.
Oh, word.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? And I guess I know it's going to do something in the body, you know, and the heart kind of being like, just like power source or something, you know what I mean? In a lot of ways, it's like everything's cycling through it. All the blood cycling through it, and the blood is kind of like melanin, and the people are, you know, that in a lot of ways, from that grapevine. And I feel like, like it's definitely something to that, though, with the cells, and then the rhythms of the interfacing and the meeting points at the heart. And then I think the heavenly heart too, that golden flower stuff, is probably another thing. Like once this is all harmonized and then this fully develops up here and you got the heavenly heart, it'll probably be some type of cycle in that where, I don't know, you get different images or different visitation in your prism.
Yeah, I mean, we're interfacing with consciousness like on another wavelength. I feel like at that point, you know,
get your like spiritual conjugal visit, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know what I mean, like, because it's like another prism. It's like the light in this prism, and I guess light in this prism, and then the overall prism itself, it's like cell blocks in prison. But like, you know, I guess if you have the key, then it's not prison. But you know, it's just funny,
And like a homie, she's like, you know, would God put itself in something it couldn't get out of?
Yeah.
You know, like what would you, if you know, if you're a guy, like would you put yourself in something that you didn't have the key to get out of? Like that there, you know, I don't think so.
No, it's like the imagination thing, like the magi thing, like Houdini or whatever, like, or the movie The Prestige, you know, that movie's dope. We talk about Tesla and the cloning machine and everything, and the dude, you know, it's just like basically the magicians. They're, you know, we're not putting themselves in things they can't get themselves out of, but to the audience it appears so, you know, and it's just like kind of, I guess that's kind of how life is, you know, because like to the body, you're like, how can I get through this situation? But like the greater part of you, or the eternal part of you is just like, man, what are you even worried about?
It's like changing, changeless.
It's like the body's like the audience. You know what I mean? Kind of like it's like you know, it's just like the audience just waiting, like, but the driver, you, is just like the Prestige is the magician. You know what I mean? And it's so funny, man. The imagination and magi thing, and then the magi came to see Christ and everything, and the whole Gnostic thing. Like, I really feel like, yeah, the tree of life thing and the body being the tree of life and us communing through the spheres of it, I definitely feel that way, that shit. I mean, that's how I communicate with myself, at least.
Magic, yeah.
And I don't know if it's like that for you on the DMT, because like you said, like, I don't know if you see, like, I feel like when I hit it the first time in the night, I kind of get a glimpse of the tree or the Merkaba or whatever, when people, you know what I mean? And I feel like I kind of right myself, like wherever my consciousness is in my body, it all goes to the top of the tree once I hit the DMT again. Like the first time I feel like it's like entering my system, and I'm like kind of looking at the Merkaba, and my consciousness is like, oh, DMT has hit the system. Let's go up here. You know what I'm saying? So like all my consciousness, all my blood and everything just goes up into here. And then like, you know, I hit it again, and then I have my experience like a longer. The first one's kind of just like my body just being like, oh shit, we got to get up to the throne, the top of the tree.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I feel like I'm in there. I'm in at the top, and I'm just like getting my remote internal viewing or whatever. I don't know if you can call it remote, whatever. But yeah, like I feel like through those processes, man, like we really, that's how we commune. And it's just cycles like that. And I feel like if we was just to really be living and doing hella breath work and like living in harmony with the circadian rhythm, I feel like we would have like, you know, REM sleep only takes like what, 5-15 minutes or something like that. It's not that long.
Just charge for an hour.
Yeah, I just think that like
put the thing on the charger, like.
Yeah, but it would be so vivid if you just knew like, all right, we're all about to do this. It's 3:15 or whatever a.m. It's the darkest time. I'm about to open this shit up manually, and you know, look inside and just use the natural television. You know, I feel like that, you know, that it would be so vibrant because like all day you got like half the day you got your eyes closed. You're not just projecting all day, like just like an open projector, just like burning light. So I feel like, you know, it would just be, it would, all that stuff, it's just so much atrophy and so much empty gas tanks, I feel like, from projection. Like we're all stuck in astral projection, I feel like, a lot of people. Like for the most part, like we're like stuck in astral projection, I feel like.
Yeah, and to certain levels of being in a sunken place in the body from the root to up. So living, being stuck in the astral, subconsciously living from these places, you know, having done no breath work, having not done as much breath work as you, circulating the light, getting the consciousness and the blood through the brain, and then processing this information about how the tree of life fits into your template, how they're both over layered. You know these things. If you didn't know these things and you smoked the DMT and your blood hadn't even been cultivated beyond a certain point, the experience, you would just go there.
Yeah, it would be all patterns, I guess.
It would be patterns in lower parts of the body.
Yeah.
Not as much up here.
Yeah.
Because but maybe you might be stuck in your pancreas or your liver or in your legs.
Yeah.
You know, and so seeing still having the remote viewing experience, but if it's not clear and there's just gunk, you know, you could be seeing whatever, but it really is a context of how creation creates itself, and then going through the gradual process of getting your identity aligned with the creator in that sense, and then hitting the DMT, and then you be going to that place.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know that, I feel like you're not having those types of experience.
Yeah.
And it's a huge disclaimer on what you just said. I just had to put that.
I feel like it creates a lot of separation because people always tell me they hit DMT and they're like, I saw Brahma or I saw other things, and I'm just like, don't you feel like this is you looking at yourself like from some other angle? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I feel like that's what it creates when you don't like cultivate your body like that, your energy, like to be receptive like that.
And that's what Hollywood does.
Yeah.
Like I really feel like that's the main reason now that I steer clear, cause I could see an entity. It could be a cool archetype too.
Yeah.
It could be a cool archetype, but I would go into that space and I would see some shit that I would not have seen if I hadn't been exposed to those characters.
Yeah.
And it's like compared to the more clear perspective of the tree of life and having that thing, it seems like a fantasy, but it's not at all. But if
it feels more real than real.
Exactly. Yeah. But if I have all these realities that feel real, they're so good at like making real ass movies. It feels so real to fabricate it. Yeah. You know, to bring it to places where my consciousness is ready to look for that type of shit when it's not even. It's not.
It's totally introduced to me.
Yeah.
It was not anything I would have organically came upon. At all. And it's crazy too, man, like with the consciousness thing being in different locations. Like if I'm having different, I can, you know how like, if I'm identifying with the Tao, I can really feel like the alignment in my body. Like I can feel the consciousness like in my head and like all throughout my body, but definitely like to the left of my brain. I feel like when I like succumb to anger or certain things, I literally feel like the Tao or the consciousness shifting and something else, some other part of my body taking the throne. And it's just misarrangement. It's just like letting the jester be the king.
Yeah.
And then like my consciousness is down here, and I'm just in my liver, and I'm just in my feelings, and like you know what I mean. Like, and I really literally feel it though.
Yeah.
Like I can feel like my body's going, I'm yelling or whatever, or I'm just enraged, and like I can feel like myself sinking into a part of my body, like my actual consciousness in my blood, it's just going to some other part. Like I'm not up here in the throne. And so,
and this is all a projection. This is astral projection. Unconsciously, you're just going to a different part of consciousness in your body that equates to a state of being that is almost like it's taking over. It's dominating. It could like different states of being. You're trying to dominate.
Yeah.
You know who's running.
Yeah, because if you did that, if that happens, like the blood shifts like that and the focus shifts, and say you're in a trance or you're dreaming, to you relative to your consciousness, you're probably gonna be in like some parallel or some other body or whatever, experiencing what's actually happening on the ground level in here. Mm-hmm. You know, right? Yeah. It's like to that it'd be some type of war or a conflict or whatever, and you know you're thinking like, oh, it's first person in this dream. It's like now you're in a cell in your liver going through it. Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that I don't know. I definitely feel that. I feel that too. Like sometimes when people are being petty or whatever, and I can feel like if I'm really being the Tao, and they're being petty, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be petty with them. I can feel like how like I become petty, and then the Tao shifts to them, and then they can see themselves. You know? Like,
oh yeah, because you're showing it's a mirror to them.
It's like I gotta jump on the other end of the seesaw, so for them to see it, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I guess you know as the I don't know as the years go, I've just been trying to respond in a more peaceful way instead of just jumping hard. I kind of you know I guess you just be petty in another way, but. I feel like that happens. You're like someone's being boisterous or petty, and then I'm just over here calm, still through it, and then I just behave the way they did. Then the Tao really switch. It's like a seesaw. I really feel like the Tao's like the bending of a bow thing. Like it really is like that. Like, and you can all align and be it, but then I feel like when it's like mad peace on the inside, like you say you're all in a car, it's like mad peace on the inside. It'd be like mad chaos outside. Or if it's two people, then the one person like it's like the Tao stretched between them. And it's like you got to find a way to balance it, or you're gonna have like, you know, this person going into anger and this person going into sadness, or this person just being balanced and this person just being imbalanced. And I feel like the Tao's kind of like always expressing itself like that, like in everything, like in my dogs and everything. Like it's funny. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, you do know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like I feel the same way about definitions and names. And like, if I was to begin, start to get out of defining myself and who I think I am, and then I kind of forget my name maybe for a few days, and then I'm kind of
and no mirrors.
And no mirrors exactly.
Yeah.
But then I'm seeing clear. I'm seeing way clear. But it's like to go to the day job, just to talk to people who believe they're their name.
Yeah.
Just to talk to a person who believes they're their name.
Yeah.
For me to go to that place is a huge step down. Not a step down like a bad thing.
You're trying to just fit so much consciousness into like a really mundane setting.
Well, and it's very dense. I'm lighter. If I'm still going through my process and I'm not able to be the gentle contemplative hermit in the middle of everything, if I'm not able to be that, and I'm lighter than these people and they have dense perceptions, it's almost like I'm sort of like a puppet. Like it's hard not to be like what they want to see in me,
just to not fight them.
Exactly. Yeah. Just because it's so like concrete to them in their mind, and I'm so immaterial. I'm moving more non-material, just identifying with that side. So it's just like for them to just look. It's just like the observer effect with quantum physics. And they look at the particle, it's different data.
If you're not, saw it.
Exactly. If you're not looking, if there's no scientists looking and recording, it's different data. But if they're looking on a subatomic level, that's what's going on. So I'm going subatomic.
Double blind study or something? I forgot what that is.
It's the double slit experiment.
Double slit,
yeah. And that's the observer effect. With quantum physics, and even in the Tao, it's just saying you know, it's just, you know, particles, molecules, but in a packet of nothingness. It's surrounded by a packet of nothing. And, you know, on that level, you know, conceptually, that's true, but also spiritually, now I can make the connections to where now I'm going subatomic, but dang, when these people look at me, it's so hard not to, if I don't know myself, I'm not actually like connected all the way, it's just like,
it's tough to treat the small as large all the time.
Yeah, so that's why I gotta eat food, right? That's why when I go in those, that's for real what happens. I put
you be fighting it, like you be really fighting it. I feel like at different times I was like really making myself miserable with that. Like, man, I signed up to do this certain thing, to be in this other country, like I'm really gonna fight having some food right now is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And I just gotta honor the reality. Like, do I want to do this anymore? Do I want to sign up for this because this comes with this? You know, because I feel like people be signing up for certain things and they be trying to do other things, and it's like you're going in two directions. You'll never get either done. You know, because people, you know, they want to go to work or do certain things, and then, you know, go on fast or cleanse for a period, and so you gotta still go back to your regular life. You need to find a way to make your work life not separate.
See, that's that not having the merger in mind.
Yeah.
You know, like there's no like goal. There's no goal beyond like getting to bed, maybe. Like getting to bed, and then the next day, you know, there's no greater like goal that takes that path and kind of changes the overall direction, right?
Yeah.
Like to, you know.
I guess people's self-esteem. I don't know. I don't know if it's the self-esteem, lack thereof, or too much. I don't know what it is, man. Why people settle in certain ways, but. Maybe it's just the design. I don't know.
I feel like that's just the animal. That's just how hard it is to get a lizard to chill out. A lizard that thinks you're trying to kill it.
Yeah.
Chill out, lizard.
Yeah, you can't talk to that shit.
No.
That's that right. Yeah. You can't talk to that shit.
It's not. It's just like.
There's no dialoguing with that thing.
It's just gonna fucking like.
Yeah, and people be really trying to talk to their reptilian mind.
Yeah, like but it's that hard coded. Yeah. It's like it's so hard coded to get out of it. It's like, damn, how's anybody gonna do this?
You really gotta change that breath. It's like no hope if you don't.
I mean, and back to it, you know, it was making sense when I opened up the I Ching philosophy, and the chameleon came up, like, cause I'm talking about my DMT experience now. Yeah. Like when I took it, I just feel like there's this lizard energy. You know, it's this conscious lizard energy, but not like a, cause I've like lizards. Hers like, you know, there's like a 1-strand DNA, then there's like a 2-strand, then there's like there's like a 3-strand. It's like coming up in the in the genome.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like there's like a lizard aspect of the body that I have. You know, like it's a lizard tree aspect. That's what I was like thinking of it as. But I hit this shit. Yeah. And I'm literally going through it, man. Like I'm experiencing a scaly inner experience, like
of lizards, like of lizardry,
of just another type of like conscious lizardry. Really weird, like I'm like, but very primal, super primal, and not like I'm regressing to like a lizard, but more so. And I said dragon afterward, but
it's as the first brain, right? The first one that develops is the reptilian, right? The brainstem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, and it was just like feeling these things, even, you know, other times I've taken the DMT, it really was that. It's just some sort of bird or lizard in my DNA that kind of gets ruffled as the whole thing, as all the DNA sort of come. I'm like, whoa, and I just experienced like 20,000 years of memory just in like a little bit of time, and I know it's how, you know, even the first times I'm taking it, I'm like, oh, that's what's happening, like. And each time they're all building on each other, so I can really get comfortable with realizing myself more in those spaces, in between spaces.
Yeah.
But damn, you know, I'm like, I do feel that primal animal aspect. It's gonna be a real thing that you flip over and ride. Like it's one thing that's like kind of running it, dominating it, dude. But eventually you flip it over and ride it through experiences, like.
Yeah, I feel like right. If you at some point when like, if you really lived your life completely, if you were to die, you'd be like, damn, thanks, old friend, to your body. You know what I mean? Like, thanks. You know what I mean? Like a good horse or something. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
you
like
love
it's your
death.
personality. Like that's what I feel like the whole spiritual cultivation thing is for. Is like to just you graduate your personality to that original state.
Yeah.
You know, and like that. So now the personality that you evolved that to where now it can now you're just the inner one that's actually gonna survive through lifetimes. Like
yeah,
That's,
I get
that's
it, man.
what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the reptile thing is crazy, man. I think that they're all one unit because they say they don't dream. They say reptiles don't dream, so I feel like they're like something's always conscious, like in life, and I think it's the reptilian world or kingdom. I think it's like they're constantly conscious in this 3D. I really feel like they move as a unit, like the same way like a herd, like I was saying, like a herd needs the predator to get rid of the sick and dying, and they move kind of as one. If the herd's moving fast, then the predator moves fast. If the prey slows down, then the predator slows down. Because it's just like a harmony between. I feel like one, like the mammalian brain. I feel like is like, I feel like that's why humans have like an affinity with dogs and mammals as opposed to like fish and like reptiles. Yeah. Because there's just like that mammalian brain is one unit, and I feel like to hurt them, at some level, you can realize there's no separation. You know what I mean?
And they're built on top of each other.
Yeah, the kingdoms, right?
Yeah. Like I'm aware of the snake or reptile DNA is like a primer. It's like if you want to make any animal, you gotta put that primer down first.
Yeah.
And it's like reptiles, repetition, that pattern, the primal pattern is like that consistent pattern is like the base 3D reality of like physical creation. So you lay down that first like lizard part, and then you lay over like other parts for animals, different types of animals. But it just makes sense without how the brain even just forms. Like it's reptile, animal, and then it's just up front.
It's supernatural.
And it happened all at one time. So we're all the animals from mineral, to human now.
Yeah. Just
standing on top of them for us to like embody that. I really do feel like it's like the direction of evolving the consciousness with entheogens, specifically like psilocybin mushrooms and the DMT. But psilocybin is DMT, so that's what it'd be turning into. But it seems to be like that's what's gonna usher. It's what ushered us into man, and it's what's gonna usher us into what's beyond, for what it means to be embodied as this.
Yeah, man, and I think that everything is immortal and eternal in that sense, like, and it's just like the 3D eternal expression is the reptiles. I feel like they're the natives, maybe, to this place. Like everything like that's reptilian is the base. I feel like it's the base reality. I feel like like maybe the reptiles are the natives of this place, and this place that was created maybe from an angelic place that created it.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like it. Like if you zoom out, you're like this thing. Well, one thing, if you plant something in it, it grows.
Yeah.
Like you look at the mountain ridges. You look at how it's like. Is this a giant? Are we on a giant?
It's an organism, right?
It's an organism.
Yeah.
It's all this drama too.
Yeah.
It's like, and I've heard the dragon mama. I've heard like we're literally. It's just the whole earth is totally alive. It's a live dragon. So like, and they're just on his body.
Like what was that movie? Is it Neverland? Not Neverland. It was that one. I forgot when they're riding on the white dragons in the air. I forgot.
Spirited Away or something? It's not an anime.
It was like a land. It was I forget the name. I forget. People will know in the comments. Yeah, but I think it might be real, man. It could be. I don't know. At this point, it's really your guess good as mine, man. I just don't trust NASA for shit.
Well, and that's why we take. It's like the final frontier isn't space. It's inner space. That's why we get the actual like template for how to process reality as is for what it is. And that's like what I came up with today. It's just how, it's not I came up with it. It's in the MetaNetter. It's like you got A, B, and C. It's like A is like your perception. B is the definition of C. And like people be needing B to get to C. Like they need to define something to get to C instead of just like going straight to the truth of what is actually there.
Yeah.
Like what's actually there. But there's a whole like blueprint for reality and how to do that. And I feel like that's what we're doing with the Tree of Life. And then we can actually take the DMT and see what's actually happening. Like
the media creates that disconnect where life happens and you kind of feel like you've seen it before, so you don't really respond accordingly. It kind of delays you, like you're saying. You know what I mean? Because you're desensitized. So you're just like life is happening. Somebody might die or something, and you're just like, how do I feel about that? Instead of just feeling about that. Like I feel like it fucks with it.
It's a buffer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I really do think too maybe that it comes down to like, I guess the way you live, the way you die, and all that stuff. You live peaceful, you die peaceful, or whatever. But yeah, the way that you can dissolve the realities, like instead of just like discarding them midway or whatever. Like if you can find a way to get down, you know, into your forever dream, your next forever dream, in a peaceful way, I feel like you can like dissolve that former life and there's no attachment to it.
Yeah.
Because you just like completed it and it's just like, all right, it's done. I'm ready for sleep like a man, and I'm ready for death like somebody's ready for sleep after a hard day's work. It's like, I'm done. So I feel like it's just that completion. You know, if you just, and you're not so like jerky and rough and trying to force the ending, you know, of life and stuff.
And you know yourself, and you know that knowledge itself isn't going to come from literature.
Yeah, nah. But yeah, it's like, it really do be that forcing though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like in a lot of ways, like, even with smoothies or whatever it is, it's like, I feel like if I do something, it puts me in time and space and it creates a timeline to force me ahead 20 minutes. Because I know this will take this amount of time just to gather the fruits, to do the thing, to put it in my body, to digest it. Like, it gives me this idea of controlling the time. You know what I mean? Instead of just like being, you know, just being. You know, it's just, it's funny. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, like it's just like people forcing the death on, forcing the suicide on. It's like, yo, man, just chill a little bit. You know, just, and then you won't want to speed it up none. Cause I feel like I got caught up in just trying to speed things up. Like, I feel like I could see the exit, and then I just got concerned, fixated on the exit. Like, I never did. I'm at the exit at A already, so I'm just like ignoring B, C. I just see the exit. I don't see nothing.
Yeah, you're talking about death.
Yeah, in anything. But yeah,
or relationships, or
the
death of your life, or the death of your relationship.
Yeah,
that you have with this person that you see is clearly gonna end. You clearly see your life's gonna end. You know, you be wanting to jump to the end, like how you.
Yeah.
You just get there, and it's tough not to even do that.
Yeah, because like, you see it. You know, once you can see it, it's one. You know, you're thinking auditorily. It's not like giving you a timeline. You're not feeling like, as soon as you get a timeline on something, your energy starts to like manifest that timeline kind of, and you just can feel like, oh, I'm exhausted even think about that. If I have to go through that.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like when you're thinking about it and it's just auditory, it's just like hearsay. It's like whatever, it doesn't really stick. But as soon as you get like a visual, like, I'm gonna wake up to this phase for this long, and I'm gonna deal with these things at these times. I can see like the cycles of this, how this is gonna manifest in the same challenge in a relative way. And you might really want to sign up for this. It just makes time slow down so miserably. I feel like I don't know. Once you can see it, and then I just be feeling like I make all the moves to make it like get to the. You know what I mean, because I feel like I see it. I don't know, but
shoot the gap.
I just don't like it. I gotta find a way to not force it to where it's just like rough, like, you know what I mean, like, because I feel like that's kind of like how the death I'm kind of creating by forcing the ending in a way where maybe I could be more peaceful just by doing less. You know what I mean? I guess creates less attachment.
It's so much valuable information just in that one data point of like you really on the deathbed. Like, how am I trying to go out? Like, like. I feel like it's important as shit to like actually get to that point and contemplate what like that, to get aligned with the optimal like trajectory on what you want to do, and to die peacefully, to take a gross personality, like a really rough cut personality, and then just like keep refining it, keep cutting it to get it even shiny, and then you like it's worthless, like you know, and even then it's just and then just crush it into sand and just let it actually become sediment, and you know, it's all these things to where now we're gone through this whole process.
Animated ego death.
Yeah, and to die like that, but consciously, right?
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like, okay, I know it's gonna end. I know there's knowledge itself I'm missing. There's a way I can actually start to learn that it doesn't require me going outside of myself. Like, that's like a certain stage of it. And it just keeps getting to greater and greater points of realization that I just cannot fathom right now. If I could, it'd be there. You know, like
and you just don't want to skip steps at this point. I feel like
you can't omit them.
Yeah.
It's like they can't even be omitted. It's like, that's why I was like, oh shit, like I'm supposed to be up to the 7th sphere. Or I'm supposed to be up to the 3rd sphere in like 3 more years, man. Should I like, should I kind of
cramp things
out?
in,
yeah.
Enjoy the ride, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even then, it's just like I still feel like there's a lot of catching up that I'm still having to do though. Like, like, and so it's really just being able to use resources during this time and be accountable for that shit. do whatever catching up, or just do whatever catch up that I need to do that I recognize that is necessary because of public school. Like, watching the indigenous cultures with the spirit of the land and rites of passage that have been there for centuries, you know?
Yeah.
And like how aware and tapped in those children are to see the process that they go through and see what I went through growing up on pizza rolls, video games, and all these things that just
Kellogg's.
I mean, all that shit, and it was still something to where I mean, there's some transhuman shit going on, like as far as we've all been being subjected to with the food
in the mineral kingdom.
Yeah. And so to undo these things, it's like, okay, I feel like there's sort of a green light to kind of use whatever kind of extreme solutions you can to balance out, and then it's gonna be this phase, and then we'll have this next few generations where we can get some really sound children.
Yeah.
And
it could slow down time in a good way.
Yeah.
So where you preserve people's youth. Yeah. That energy.
And then it's aligned, then it's not out of alignment with the whole natural flow, and probably, we got like 500-year lifespans here. It might be closer to the center of the disc too. It might be able to get, just be able to live. It's heaven on earth for sure. That was like the first few times I was taking DMT. I was like, "Is that it? Like, am I like it's me. I'm the portal for heaven on earth." I literally I smoked the shit. I'm like, this is the garden. Like this is the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the garden.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It's there.
The grapevine.
Yeah. And to normalize that's what I feel like is gonna happen. That's what Gene Keys is even gonna talk about. Like everybody, like the level of like high spiritual advancement right now, that's going to be normal.
It's 64 Gene Keys, right? And 64 hexagrams.
Yeah, it's based on the I Ching. And like each of them has a shadow, a gift, and a city. And it's just the shadow part is so on point for everybody. It's
I've read it and listened to the audio that came with it. It's been a minute though, but I gotta brush up.
I mean,
check it out.
It's worth it, especially just you take some shrooms or something and turn it on, man. And then it talks to your DNA. It's an oracle book, like it like even that. It'll open up talking about all the quantum physics and everything as you're hearing these words type sentences, your DNA. It's like I'm like, oh shit.
I definitely feel that way, man. The I Ching and the Tao Te Ching, and they're like living entities that want to be read.
The sage. Yeah, the sage genie.
Yeah,
man.
it's like in Cloud Atlas when the musician was saying, like, I'd rather become music or whatever. Like, I guess these, Lao Tzu and, King Wen and different people that wrote this stuff. It's like, I'd rather just become the I Ching and the Tao Te Ching. That'd be that's a cool way to be eternal. You know what I mean? Like, eternally just, like, reading myself through people.
Exactly. So that's what would that be like dying peacefully into another dream? That's on that.
Like you're the writer and the reader and the everything.
Like going through this whole life to where at like 86, 88, like okay, I've mastered my conscious to the point, like all the meditations, all that stuff. I know how to dissociate.
Yeah.
All right. I know how to dissociate.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not my only body.
It's a big old ritual. Like everyone's happy. It's a big old celebration. It's like yeah, nice. All right, guys, I'll see you there.
Yeah.
And then just fucking. Just do, and I feel like it's possible.
Yeah.
In this lifetime, but I don't know.
I haven't reached that bridge yet. You know what I mean? I'm sure it just becomes all familiar, man. The more the more seasoned I become, it's more like every time I step into a next stage in my life, it becomes more like familiar. I'm more familiar with myself.
Deja vu.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting back. It's like I'm back for the first time. You know what I mean? Like it's just a weird, it's crazy, man.
It feels like if it was like a carousel spinning, and it's just like you're on the outside of the carousel holding on. It's just like it's spinning at the same speed, but the closer you get to the middle, it's like the harder the pull is back. But the closer you are to the center. Like once you get to the center, it's like
like there's no separation, no pressure. Yeah, it's all the pressure, so no pressure.
And that's like where everything came from. Like I feel like we were in the middle at one point. It's just like kind of being on the outside, but we get closer and closer to that middle. It's like I've been here before. There's no way you could have started on the outside.
Right, exactly.
I
mean, and then things, I guess, anything that was spawned from there is just going to return to its source of illusion. I guess, right?
Yeah.
I think everything of the Matrix, it just returns to it. I don't know. But then, like in the Tao Te Ching, it says, right, manifestations and, what is it? The first one, it says, they arise from the same source. Manifestations and mystery arise from the same source. So like manifestations is the non-mysterious, is of the matrix stuff, and it ultimately still comes from the mysterious. Ultimately, I guess it has to. Everything does. Like I mean, it's all coming from that core.
Yeah, that's infinite potential, is the unknown.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love about it. Talking about fear in the unknown, because it's like people be fearing shit they don't know what it is, but that's literally impossible because you fucking know what it is.
Yeah.
Like that's the definition of the unknown. You can't fear it.
Yeah.
It's not possible because you don't know what it is.
You just accept that you don't know.
But in that not knowing though, what could it be? It's infinite potential.
Yeah.
For what it could possibly be. It could be anything.
If I stop being who I am, I step into who I might be.
Yeah. And then that limitless, I feel like that's the limitless. Or that's sort of like the gateway to the limitless, is just being able to have that relationship with the unknown or with the mystery. And then but then to be careful with the I Ching, because it's like, or even the Metanetic, because then you be like so accustomed to looking for mysterious shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like
a lot of stuff is just like you're frank,
and it's right there. It's like it's no thinking required.
Yeah.
Like you're like
spoon feeding this shit. Like take this shit.
Yeah. Like
baby birds, a lot of stuff.
Like you're like eat yourself, man. Like
yeah.
Like taste of that, nothing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm so grateful for these books. I think that Lao Tzu studied his like grandmom or mom or something. I don't know, just from his approach, but. Yeah, it really is wild, like how the poem writes the poem. The dancer isn't separate from the dance. So the reader, the writer, they're really one. You know what I mean? And like, I really feel like like Lao Tzu is like, it's such a funny thing. It's like the Christ thing. Like Christ is in you. Like Lao Tzu is in you. You know what I mean? It's like there's really no separation.
Well, especially if he realized it. He knows. He already knows.
Yeah.
Like. It's so many dynamics too.
Yeah.
Like I'd be clicking more and more. Like when I see the details, like it's like, oh, that's how you came up with that.
Yeah.
You're looking at a different, like it's like this.
No dualism.
None.
No dualism. There's no wrong path.
There's the yin and yang.
Yeah.
And then there's like the differentiation, like the order of the yin and yang, and how it all comes together. And you could like write stanzas around that. Like you could be like, you could be like look at it.
He's like, how can I point to the nothing? Like
he's just describing it. Because he sees it all moving, all the dynamics, and it's just like
it's just so concise.
Like, and the more I get into the I Ching, it's just like I could see how you could write that, like I see how like these things can be written. This from these perspectives, like they're just so refined. Like it's just like scary.
And you're just observing. You know what I mean? Because like at that time you just think about I guess people are not. They're using candles. So everything that you're moving with the light and the darkness accordingly. So you're just constantly observing according to what the light is doing, and what the darkness is doing, and I feel like life is just like your entertainment at that point, and so you can pay attention and it's more interesting, and you're just like, man, like how can I monitor these patterns, and it's just like they just had mad presence, like, I guess it was just gonna happen. Everything was going to manifest itself. Life was going to express itself and be like, look, life was like, let me write a book about myself. I don't know. Like
all y'all are the characters.
Yeah.
Like, not even characters in the book, just letters, yo.
Yeah.
Like, each of y'all are letters. You got to find your group to make a word, maybe. and then get arranged with other groups and shit. And
and just enjoy the fact that you was a part of this whole masterpiece.
And you participated. And just simply participate in that experience.
Yeah, you don't have to try, right, to maintain the oneness. Just participate in it. Yeah.
And you need not move an inch.
Yeah.
Like
it's your true nature.
Yeah, like it really you don't need to move.
Yeah.
That's kind of maddening. It's like oh,
yeah.
Oh.
And it's tough, man. Like, cause like you said, man, you're trying to squeeze your understanding into a way that package to convey certain things to people or just not to offend them. And like I just feel like it's tough, meeting people with different, I guess brands of understanding, different brands of ignorance. It's like it's just tough because you gotta really like try to translate so much. Like you got you're like the bottom of the iceberg trying to translate, from the tip. And it's just, I don't know, it's just tough, like, engaging with people because you can see just based on their actions and their emotional state from the inside of yours, the contrast from the inside of yours. Like, if your body's more quiet, then you can feel the chaos in other people's bodies, and then it's just like, man,
you're feeling their family.
Yeah. And then you're like always the bad guy if you if you hold that mirror up, you know what I mean? Or if you're quiet, you're the bad guy. So I guess you just gotta be a supervillain in a good way.
Or you just be a chameleon.
Yeah.
And just disappear.
Yeah.
You're in the room, but they don't see you. Like,
hopefully they sat with themselves long enough.
Yeah, for real, man.
Digested that.
Like, I see so much. Like, I don't want to be like avoiding shit. You know?
Yeah. No.
I'm not trying to avoid shit. Same time, I want to see what's happening and be able to put myself in positions where I could still be more effective than I would be if I was getting entangled. You know, like.
Yeah.
But is that my ego still? Like, should I just humble myself and drop all aspirations or ambitions, and just and actually just be cool with just being? You know,
I don't know. I think things are just it would just unfold anyway.
Exactly. And,
yeah.
But my stance is like, I got a personality. It's big. I could do something with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna get beat. It's gonna
use
get
that gas
eroded.
tank.
Yeah, exactly. And have some stuff. Just be able to participate in the creation, like, just in my own way, and in a way that's like just authentic and unique, like that's never been experienced. Like those are the mining points. Like just getting those perspectives and being able to continue to evolve into the mystery. Like, what are we looking like afterwards?
Yeah.
And it's like it's so cool. I'm just like, I'm not in awe because I can't be.
Yeah, I can only imagine where my patience will be at 40. I had no patience at 20. You know what I mean? And at 30, I feel like it's decent. You know what I mean? 31, it's like decent. I went 40, it's probably gonna be, I don't even know. I won't be able to I can't fathom really. Right
exactly.
Yeah.
If you could, you'd be there.
Yeah.
And so I really want to enjoy this way more. Like,
yeah.
For what it's worth, I feel like I will be I will feel like I have been robbing myself every time I got spoiled, or or every time was in a place that was ungrateful. There's some spot where I got deluded to the point where I can't be present enough to even take in just a normal experience because the patience isn't there.
Yeah.
I can't actually like stop and like take it in and take things in. And it's the more I do that, I'm just robbing myself. Like when I get to the deathbed, where I take the shrooms probably not the next time, because I'm doing my best. Like each time I get those checkpoints, I can just make sure even when I'm on the ground, I'm still aligned with that. So next time I come around, it's like I really am getting into a trajectory with like nice. Like yeah. I really don't gotta fear a death where I'm having regrets anymore, because I've already checked in so many times, you know, with that. Until where it's just nonstop.
I know what I put in. Yeah.
And that's like, and that feels like that's really like an orgasmic feeling almost, like to be able to put your being into that.
Yeah.
And exert your
I guess just not overdoing things and then not underdoing things when like it's your time to shine.
And that's what helps you. That's my favorite part of it. Like is going pro, like being able to see like that the equality between like the off time and taking care of yourself, so you can like really push it. Like I can only push it as hard as I can go off, as I can get off and take that time off. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I could get to so many deep states of like serenity, just so I can just gun it like at another point.
It's just funny, like everything really like you learn how to go by stopping, learn how to stop by going, whatever, and like. It's a funny thing because I guess everything requires its own like relative rest in some way, like because it's always gonna be the more that you get quality rest, the further you can go, the more you can endure.
Better life you can have.
Yeah.
Quality life, quality rest.
Yeah.
Quality life.
Yeah, just quality stopping and like, and then you have quality going, and it's just funny how that is like when you be like, because I guess you can overstop too. And then it's funny.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the sunken place.
Yeah. And you think you're going.
Yeah. And it's just loops.
Yeah.
It's just like lower chakra gratification and a trance.
Yeah. And then the pain language kicks on, and then that alarm just gets numb.
More dense stuff like piles on.
Yeah.
Like and it just gets more crystallized and harder to get out. It's like it's just as much as the brain, like just.
It really is like 30. A layer of fucking plaque inside the system separating you from your own body that parasites live in.
And that's the psychosis.
And it's really like a fucking prison inside the body.
A lot of consciousness.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, so to free that, it's just like the answer was never anywhere else. Anyone's going to say it. But as many times as we could think the solution for that mental prison, the key to that prison is going to be like somewhere other than like right behind your face. Like it's right behind your face. Yeah. Like it's so
tip of your nose and all that.
So right. I mean, people said it's the tip of the nose, but I'm like, yo, it's behind. It's
before your eyes.
Exactly. Like back here, like its true self. If it's back here, it's just like it's just being a beggar for a treasure that's hidden inside his own chest. Yeah. To look like, this will make me feel better? This will make me feel better. I know it's gonna make me feel like shit the next day, but I know how I can just sleep through it. like whatever the fuck. But it's just so dense, so comfortable, so heavy. And then the water's there, and then if there's all the plaque, and if there's no like proactive consciousness that's there to even like process a message from somebody about how that's like not that's not there's just and the whole society's just conducive, has been conducive to that for our parents and all the kids. So yeah, I mean, damn, like detox life is like the way to actually like being able to get out of the prison, the matrix.
You can't even get in those other gears. It's like really like riding a Lamborghini in first gear. You know what I mean? Being in the root chakra. Like,
on regular fuel.
Yeah, just destroying the vehicle. Yeah.
Like, some people get Lamborghinis. Some people get Camrys. Yeah. Some people, but it's still just putting shit in the fuel tank. Yeah. Or just driving it crazy, it's crazy. Like our bodies just rentals. These just crash rentals too. I've heard of people just treating them like that too. It's just like, it's crazy.
I just want to be graceful. You know what I mean? When you see my dad, he worked in a nursing home like all his life, man. This dude be seeing mad death, and like I could tell, like he just rather die gracefully, because you see people die in an ungraceful ass way. Obese people, sick people, people that eat themselves to death and they're not fat. They just created like pancreatic cancers or whatever, and he just be seeing that shit, and I was like, damn, you see death like every other day.
It's a shitty death too. Like people will be just like,
yeah, and it's like, damn, man, you just want to go and feel like, all right, I'm done. Like, all right, this is cool. I'm satisfied. I'm cool. You know what I mean? I took care of myself. My quality of life isn't horrible. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to not be able to walk or nothing like that ever. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. If it ever got to that point, if I was living 180 years, if I got to a point where I can't walk, I'd rather just not wake up ever again.
Yeah, just the one thought of being paraplegic is enough for me to it's just realigns me with like yes.
Yeah, and I keep the circulation.
Like so this is what I'm living for. Like just to be healthy.
Yeah.
Just to be like, and that's the base.
Shit.
That's the base. Or a springboard for all other realities.
Yeah. Like, and then life supports itself.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's just continue the narrative, or just continue leaning into this, because I feel like it's evoking response.
Yeah.
Like it's a what is it in the Wild Ching? It's just perseverance and adaptability. Adaptability evoke the response of the universe. Yeah. And I feel like these conversations, even just leaning into it, it's getting weird.
Yeah. Just being steadfast, right? And it all makes sense.
Just things going great, like everything, like someone's looking out for you. It's really like it really wants, like creation just wants you to be put on.
Yeah. Wants to create itself, right? Like it's like crazy how that is, yo.
Yeah.
Like it really is the universal will. So it's like, and it's not separate from yours, so it's wild to watch it, like, from a supposedly, like, third-person position, like, watching things manifest or whatever from the human perspective is wild. Yeah. Because it's like, yo, this is my will doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not like in a facetious way, but it's like...
It's the true will.
Yeah.
And then it's not facetious if it's like, you got the tree of life, for the Mennonite peoples.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like it just it's crazy to me. Like I just got to it. You know, like you know what I mean. Like maybe 3 months ago. I
had the book for a while.
Exactly.
But
I had the book for a year.
It does. You gotta do it. Everything. That it has. It had to be.
Really gotta be prepped. Gotta be in that spot where I really don't know how I'm gonna get here, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I'm gonna get to where I want to go. Yeah. But this uncertainty, I know just from what I know from the Tao, and how the master, you know, for the master, there's nothing, no one to teach. He's just, you know, he simply does his work and never worries.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so if I'm worried, I'm in error. So it's just like, I got what information can I use to like get in my conceptual experience to where I can start to climb to that more internal experience at a different part of the tree.
Yeah.
like I'm like.
It's where you just like living a first person movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
From credit, and it's
no
like
separation
so
from
coming
God.
up on this, like how does no one know about this?
Yeah.
Like, how are we?
I don't know.
It's not like the.
I don't know how the Osar society hasn't like really gotten bigger than Black Lives Matter. I would think like you think that would be, but I guess less is more. I don't know.
It's a palette. I feel like it's definitely like it's just how like it's fucked up. But if you take slaves from South America, and then they're slaves, you know, in like 400 years ago, you know, and then you put on an education system, caste systems, things like that. The only way they can get out of slavery, if they only have that language now, is literacy. Yeah. Like there's no way out of slavery other than becoming literate. So so it's a certain palette. It's like an intellectual palette that it's just not there to where the all said society would be right there, but there's no processing power. Yeah. Like for that message.
Yeah, it's tough to read. I've given people the book before, and they'd be like they just don't read. It won't let you read it unless you have a certain level of respect, I guess.
Yeah. Or you're at a certain point like I'm ready to.
Yeah.
I'm ready to
certain level of comprehension.
More. Yeah.
Or you're gonna be Googling all the time, probably. Like the way he writes. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people are gonna have, struggle with it. They're not into active consumption.
Yeah, and it doesn't even need to be active. It's an oracle too. It really is. Just like it could be 20 pages, and then for 2 months you cannot read it, pick it up again. Yeah. But then you pick it up again, it's right within that spot. Like okay. Yeah. That what I read about. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh. So I could experience it.
Yeah.
So I could read this. It's like
leaving notes for yourself. Yeah.
It's wild, man. But the more that happens, it's like, dang, like shit. I'm really addicted to shit, like stopping and like, I'm really addicted to shit being like stagnant and like at a point of limitation. Like I really love this limitation, man, because
when shit be getting peaceful,
limitless everywhere else. Like
shit be getting too peaceful, and I'm like, let me disrupt this.
Yeah, for real, for real, man. But cool.
Yes, sir.
You can cut it off right here.
Yeah,
man.
I guess, I feel like we put in enough work, man. Now they can, wait for the next one whenever we can conjure up something.
Yeah, probably take the weekend off, but
all right.
And get that off time so you can be on.
Yeah.
But cool, thanks for watching.
Yes, I.
Yeah, all the way. Peace. Cool.
Oh yeah.
Mike, chill.
Yeah, man, that really eating up time. That's dope.